8 wins, MLB, XTRA. When you see everything he's done and the accumulation of it all, is there something that has really stood out to you or that you point to that you kind of look at as this could be one of the reasons of the success this year?
I just think it's real confidence. To have that, to develop that, it takes time and it takes consistent performance. And so right now, this is as confident as he is in his own abilities, and he's scratching the surface on some really good things going forward.
Limited offense, but when you guys needed a run, when you guys came into that big home run for you guys to give you a little insurance, how big is a swing like that for him right now, especially as this past week has been a little bit of not his best of results?
It was big. I think there was a sigh of relief. Mookie's going to sleep a lot better tonight. Got called out on a pitch, tough pitch at bat prior, but I think saw 3 straight sliders and put a good swing on. So we needed that run. So it was good to see him, and obviously it wasn't an offensive outburst, but it was enough to get a win.
Is this sort of the version of Tony that you guys sort of always foresaw down the line when you first started coming up?
I'd like to say yes, but to do what he's done for essentially 3 months is pretty remarkable for anyone. And so you know that it's a good head, it's a confident, it's an athletic body, it's a good arm with weapons. But to see it over this stretch, I don't think even in 20 he was this good for this stretch of time. So, but again, this is a new ball player that's gained a lot of confidence, and we don't know where this is going to lead us, but he's doing a lot of good things for us.
He said he wanted to stay in during the 7th. How hard of a decision was that to take?
Oh, it was an easy decision for me, but I wanted him to get a hitter, Duffy, but he shouldn't want to stay in. So it's a problem when a pitcher doesn't want to stay in the game. But for me, I've got to manage the short term, the game. I've also got to manage the next start and the ensuing starts through October. So, so in that vein, it was pretty easy for me.
How much reflection is that of just kind of where he's gotten to where he can be in there in the 7th?
Well, I think it's been a group effort as far as his buy-in and understanding his past, health, and so how we can manage it together. So number one, he's got to do his part in the weight room and all that stuff in preparation, which he's done and dominated clearly. The other part, we've got to do our part to make sure that we take care of the player. And so, but with that, the player's got to want to feel that he's the best option, and I don't want it any other way.
Outstanding pitching all night, and then some tense moments there in the 9th inning. For a manager, what's that like when you tell you're controlling? You hope to carry that.
Well, you just got to let the players play. It's a player's game, and I thought Craig threw the baseball really well. I think that 10-minute, 12-minute delay broke into a little bit of momentum. He gave up a flare base hit to Trout, a ball down below on a curveball to Otani, which was a good piece of hitting. I didn't like the walk to Duffy, but after that, he really locked in. He made a lot of good pitches tonight.
You mentioned time, just time in the league. Was there anything else you think has triggered that confidence in Tony Gonsolin?
I just think it's performance. It's you can have service time. You can have people tell you how good you are, the type of potential you might have, but until you go out there and do it consistently, that's the only way it's going to sustain itself.
Eventually, him leading you, when you throw the ball like this, how can you sort of be that type of guy?
Well, he's been that guy going deep into games for the last month. So, it's up to him to go out there and continue to take down the lineup and put us in a good spot to win. And he's realized every challenge, whether he put in front of himself or we put in front of him. And certainly, to lose Walker, he's really come to the forefront, which has been very helpful.
How do you describe what his role has evolved into at this point of the season compared to maybe what you thought it would be coming in?
Well, the role is a starting pitcher for the Los Angeles Dodgers, where I think in years past it was sort of the Mitch White role, and you're kind of in, you're out. You're like the sixth option as far as in the rotation, but he's supplanted in our rotation, and he's earned that, and that's something that I know he's taken pride in, to earn a job, and now it's up to him to maintain it and thrive, which he's done. So all that credit goes to Tony.
You talk about his confidence, but what about your confidence and Mark Pryor's confidence and the rest of the team's confidence in him? How much of that has been a factor?
Well, you can see a player, certainly a starting pitcher. When there's a stressful inning, pitch count creeps up a little bit. After an inning, there's a sigh of relief, or there's a pitcher that doesn't see the finish line, they want to keep going. So I've seen that more and more time.
He's the first pitcher in the NL to 8 wins. Is it bizarre to think that he could be even a starting pitcher in the All-Star game?
He's earned it. He's done it. So, the numbers don't lie. So he's winning games when he pitches. His ERA is great. The strikeout to walk, great. He's helping us win every time he goes out there. So if that comes to fruition, that's great, and I hope he gets that opportunity.
Given the bigger picture, how important was his start tonight?
Obviously, mentioned Walker. It coming off an off day, just giving the pen an extra day to reset, to go out there and throw up zeros for 6+ innings, and an offense that really hasn't got on track, for a little bit. To do that, because right now there's not a whole lot of margin for error, and so to go out there and put up a bunch of zeros and hand it to the pen, it was much needed. Yeah.
How about the balancing act?
What's it going to take to get the offense on track? Those numbers we talked about in San Francisco are only a day higher or worse.
I don't know that answer. All I know is that, I have confidence in the guys, and we'll figure it out together. We will.
How much of a balancing act is it going to be with some of these starters between, kind of letting them compensate for losing longer, but also trying to protect their health and think big picture?
That's the balancing act. So when you can push a guy a little bit and not compromise the future, or future starts, and pull back a little bit when you've got a rested bullpen. But in the days to come, the construction of the roster is going to be different. So it'll be a different question, a different conversation, soon. But right now, we still have a lot of arms available.
Dave, we've seen foul balls up the mass take a home plate umpire out of the game. Have you ever seen a bat shard like that?
Never seen that. I think it was, I remember that Steve Yeager one in the throat, but in the mask, the broken part of the bat, that was really scary. And I heard that it hit his nose, Nate, and so that's, I guess, the best case scenario. So a very scary moment.
Thanks.
Thanks.